To make it a lot easier, we found that a lot of people were changing presets and settings within the preferences, like during a show. So we've actually created a new toolbar at the top here that contains many of the options, such as turning on the vinyl control emulation, amputate mode, changing your sync modes, capturing snapshots. All these things are now available right here on the top, so you don't have to open the preferences window every time you want to change one of these things on the fly. But otherwise, the UI has maintained its appearance. We haven't changed too much here, as like moving objects around or anything like that. Everything new has been integrated in with what already existed. So I'm going to walk you through some of the new features that we've got here. The very first one, the one that I think is going to create an amazing amount of new mixes that we've never heard before, is a feature called tempo anchors. Torq will analyze songs anytime you add a song into one of the decks. You put it in and it determines the BPM for you. It'll create an overview waveform of the song and even puts a phase grid down showing where all the beats are and where the main downbeat is in every song. This is a very important feature in Torq because the sampler, the effects, all these things synchronize to the tempo of that song. So it's essential that the tempo is correct. Now, 90% of the time or higher, when you're using dance music, hip-hop, things that are recent productions, Torq's going to be able to figure out the BPM for you. But if you've got a song that intentionally changes BPM at some point in the middle, or if you've got an older song that maybe was created before the advent of computer recording and that perfect metronome, we can still use those in the DJ set by literally marking where the beats are supposed to be in a song. Torq will remove the tempo variations and allow it to play straight through, or better yet, we can actually get Torq to follow the tempo changes such that everything else in the software responds when the music slows down or speeds up. So I'm going to pull up a track here. Let's see, out of my tempo anchors folder. Let me start with something kind of simple here, like David Bowie. I've always loved this song, Let's Dance by David Bowie. Big problem though, trying to spin this, like actually trying to mix it in, because the tempo varies. We're talking about real players here. Sometimes the snare's a little early, sometimes it's late. I think he kind of rushes a couple fills here and there. But we all like the sound of it. We love this song. So what I've done, you can see there's a green anchor right here. I've actually been able to go through and change various grid lines into anchors and place them exactly where I want. This is done in our anchor edit view, which is enabled by this little anchor button up at the top. And it works very similar to Ableton Live, where I can grab anything and move it around, double click to turn it green, and now it locks in place. So all I have to do is just go through the song, find any place where that grid line deviates from the music, and just nudge it back into place. Then when I turn off anchor edit mode, now it straightens out the tempo of the song so it's consistent all the way through, and all these things get saved in the song, so the next time you pull up the song it's ready to go, as you saw. So here's what it sounds like when I play this. It sounds normal, right? But the thing is, Torq has removed any slight tempo variations in this song right now, so it's playing at one consistent tempo, and I can actually start layering loops on top of this pretty easily, thanks to our new, what we call tempo master mode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold shift and engage this sync button right here. So now the global tempo up at the top, we even have this little meter showing you what beat we're on, is following the tempo of this song. So I can turn on a drum loop now, something like this one. There we go. We have that drum loop layered on top of this song perfectly. And that drum loop is actually changing tempo just a little bit to maintain synchronization with this song. And I can actually slow down the whole song, and the sample is going to follow. There we go. So we're 8% down from the original tempo of this song, and you can actually see the tempo changing from time to time as it comes across various areas of tempo changes. Okay, but now The stretching that you're hearing is now possible with another new feature that we've added to Torq. We're now using the Z-plane elastic time stretching algorithm. We still have our regular stretching algorithm built into this program. It uses hardly any CPU, but if you're doing some really extreme tempo changes and things, it's really smart to switch over to the elastic algorithm, because as you'll hear, this thing can stretch like 20% in either direction without really creating any anomalies at all. Let me do some really extreme examples of that here. I'm going to turn off that drum loop and we'll just listen to this song here. Slow it down. Those drums are still nice and tight. This is 16% down already. Now typically, you would be hearing like flammed drum sounds. We kind of hear this in certain algorithms. It goes boom, crack, boom, as it's stretching this thing out. But this Z-plane algorithm is just so hot, it doesn't suffer from that at all. So now I can, almost like mix in some hip hop on top of this. You can really start crossing genres by taking songs that are too fast, bringing them down slow, songs that are slow, and bringing them up to tempo, and mixing them all in the same set.